necessarily. I feel like it just needs to be
Dire team ban.
they needed to play a little bit more around Yopaj's lane. Again, Silencer, we talked about it in the
Dire team
draft. You said,
pick.
how do you feel about Yopaj playing a hero like Silencer who's not mobile, who needs to stay in lane, who needs to farm and needs to get kills without going elsewhere? And the end result was he didn't. He stuck in lane. He didn't have an amazing time. I thought Rose did a fantastic job in the laning stage, and there
10
wasn't the
seconds
rotation through
remaining.
from the rest of the team either. You had a Tusk, you had a Mars that are perfectly
5
capable of
seconds
coming in,
remaining.
dropping their ultimate combos, and then
Radiant
starting the
team
silencer
pick.
on his scaling journey. So didn't happen, and ended up making him, very weak as it got into the mid game.
We get a treat, the Play Hard Earth Spirit.
Radiant
Is
And
it
team
the
pick.
play hard Earth Spirit?
true. Could be the Yopaj
Dire
Earth
team
Spirit.
pick.
Probably not anymore with the Bat Rider being picked up. Let's be real though.
This is
Although that seems more like a pos 3 now since the latest patch. So you never know.
what they need to check what they changed.
They added more base nighttime vision,
That's
but
right, yeah.
they reduced the Firefly's vision by half, I believe. So it's weaker at night technically, but stronger during the day. So kind of like an anti-Night Stalker that you really want to be as active as possible during the day. And they also made Fey Grenade not work with Sticky Napalm, very much needed. I think they slightly nerfed Flame Break, made it 1 second longer cooldown or lower duration or something
The
like
the
that.
damage per second just got reduced 20 to 15.
Okay, yeah, so slightly weaker.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think they just didn't want us. All of the
Seconds
heroes that
remaining.
were just busted in the mid lane. That honestly, like, it must feel good to be a player like Tundra 9, right? Where Winter Wyvern, he played it mid, busted, nerfed.
Dire team ban.
Coddle, nerfed. Batrider, nerfed. So it's like, guys, what do I have to
Radiant
do
team ban.
to actually have one of my key heroes still kept in the pool and playable? Like, Sven was kept in that busted state when he was Superman for what felt like 3 months, but they barely give this guy a few weeks.
Yeah. Even Moon as well, you could say. Moon's been taking the
10
role as like
seconds
the
remaining.
Southeast Asian. Do we want to say
Dire
9? I don't know if
team
that's a way we can compare, but it definitely likes similar heroes to what 9 is played, and we see it
Radiant
often.
team pick.
We saw the Wyvern previously, but for Boom, they're going to go for Paulus' Morphling, so he's got a great matchup versus the Gyrocopter. They don't have a lot of instant chain control, which is a bit worrying, but this could be. Is this a Yopaj
10
morph?
seconds remaining.
Because I was happy about the Bane Bloodseeker lane. Maybe that's rough
5
into a Batrider,
seconds
though.
remaining.
Hmm. They have the last pick overall on Boom, right? So I think they've still got plenty of time to determine it, right? Because if they reveal the fact that this Batrider is most likely to be in the mid lane, then Earth Spirit suddenly doesn't become the mid lane. But if it's something that's, a lot more vulnerable to an Earth Spirit, we've seen him just ball up and run together with the rest of the boys and just snowball, make every single rotation count. I think Yopaj is one of the best mid Earth Spirits in the
Dire
world.
team
So
pick.
it is going to be a Storm Spirit mid. I think this could be an Earth Spirit mid, and they're going to. Hmm, on the Morphling in the offlane? I don't know.
Uh,
10
well,
seconds remaining.
I believe the flex between the 2 and the 4.
5 seconds remaining.
So are you comfortable with the Earth Spirit being mid, or do you feel like they're looking for another Yopaj hero? I guess a better question is then, what do you feel like the weaknesses are, and what do they need filled in regards to what are they missing?
Mhm. Stuns are lacking, especially against a Storm Spirit and a Bat Rider even. They've got the BKB piercing disables, which is good against the Pango and the Gyro, I suppose, but yeah, they definitely need a way to try and lock them down, and so that's why the Puck is gone, the Wind Ranger's gone, Leshrack's gone. Not that he's super reliable. I mean, what even is there left? Ember Spirit, not the best matchup into a Storm. Void Spirit, it's all right against the Clockwork and the Storm Spirit. So could potentially look to see that one come out. Yeah.
Choose your hero.
I think they just needed something that was going to be able to be a little bit more maneuverable against the Clockwork. So it is going to be play hard. I suppose you can't really afford to do a mid Earth Spirit, right, when you're playing against a Clockwork as well.
Is the battery cell just a bit of an issue versus the Spirit?
The role, yeah.
Well, for Boom, I guess something we haven't even brought up is the Morphling Earth Spirit combination. You've got a incredible Aghanims game for Palos. If he doesn't even want the Aghanims, the matchup versus the Gyrocopter is incredibly strong as well. You can just pop yourself in, get your own flak cannon, and it's definitely a great way to deal with him, considering, yes, Chidori is going to have some hybrid damage, which is nice versus the high armor that Morphling will have, but there's definitely bigger issues with how he's an incredible replicate target. It feels like this game on Dreammaker, well, we saw them snowball in game 1, but they're still not going to have too easy of a time to be able to find Palos with the lack of guaranteed stuns in a way. Like maybe Trezam with Blink, if he can get it at a good timing, so he was very farmed on the Abaddon. Maybe Rose, if the Orchid timing can come out. We saw him play it both against Yangon Galacticos, and he rushed the Orchid, so potentially before maybe a Manta on Palos. But how are we feeling about this game 1? Do we feel like Dreammaker can take the 2-0, or Boom going to even it out?
I feel like they can, but the Morphling, like you mentioned, is good against the Gyrocopter. The Manta style is going to be effective as well. I mean, you do have to consider the fact as well on Boom, you've got that Bloodseeker that's going to be able to counter out the Pangolier. Hell, you've even got the Bane that's going to be able to do so. So that is something that I'm quite concerned about for Dreammaker, and the fact that they might have an okay amount of lockdown coming through with the Bat Rider, the Storm Spirit, the Clockwork, but the big extended teamfight lockdown that you're going to need to try and lock down a Morphling, a Void Spirit, it's just not there. So I'm feeling a little bit more confident about Boom this time around. Wonder if they might switch up the lanes as well so that CTM does stay together with that Bloodseeker. I just feel like it's a really potent lane.
Yeezy getting back and about. Tip the wrong person. Come on, never mind.
That's not good.
Yeah, you're feeding the flames there. I don't know if you want to be doing that. Now they'll start giving out some tips over to Yopaj, who we'll see. This definitely feels like a Yopaj hero, and I don't believe he's going to have 2 games like he did in a row. I reckon Yopaj is going to look to pop off. The question is if he can get out of the laning stage. We've seen some Storm Spirit Void matchups surprisingly go a lot better than what it's supposed to on paper, but when you can get out of the laning stage, the Yules into the Aghanims, you've got a lot of answers to deal with the Storm. But my question is on how the top lane for Boom's going to go. I think that's probably their biggest weakness. I think I have actually been very, very... Trezam? I think he should be okay. Yeah, I've been very off on the Bat Rider. Like, we've seen some atrocious Bat Rider lanes, which I was really surprised about. I mean, they don't have a soft dispel at all. Are they swapping? No, so it is just Palos in this. Again, this lane looks like Nevermind should be able to get a decent amount of farm, but I really don't have a good read on this hero, considering the past couple of games I was expecting him to perform well. He didn't.
He just does all the small things right as a position 5. It's always great to see someone change up their roles. Have there been anyone else other than it's actually even pulling the mid lane here? Would CTM have to be number 1 in terms of pulling the TP from Pango to try and interrupt this, that have played across multiple roles other than Scam? He's played position 1, 3, 4, and now 5 over the past half a year, I'd say.
Yeah, and he seems to be doing it pretty effortlessly as well. Do you know how much this man actually plays pubs? Is he in one of those that doesn't put a lot of his time into pubs, or?
He's a big spammer. He'll play about 6 games a day most of the time.
I feel like you have to be when you're changing roles. It's still, you're gonna have to get to the stage where you get mechanically comfortable on some of those heroes.
For the longest time, he had his name as 5 only, basically, trying to learn up this role.
That's something you got to do at the stage that you're in, and the caliber of that Southeast Asia is seems to be the lack of kind of position 5s, and CTM is you're looking to fulfill that hole, and he's been doing it at quite a rate so far through the groups, and we'll see if that can continue for the boys over on Boom. Overall, no real shenanigans in the lanes. Do you feel like maybe how's his bottom lane gonna fare with FBZ and Play Hard? You were saying that FBZ's Bloodseek is exceptional. Do you feel like then he can have a strong lane?
I feel like he can. I feel like I'm still feeling like it would be even better if you had the Bane paired together with him. He's actually getting gone on a little bit here. Haven't put up the second point just yet, but I feel like with that Rocket Barrage, if you had that paired together, it would have been really nice to be able to try and counter this out a little bit more. FBZ, he's always going to want to be trying to get aggressive, and well, with always using the shield crash onto the creep wave, it means that these range creeps are starting to tick down low, and well, luckily enough, Trezam's landing a couple of them, but it's very easy to get the denies in onto a gyrocopter if the lane's kind of shoved in under the tower.
For Rose mid, looks like he's having a pretty comfortable time right now. Yopaj still getting a decent amount in regards to CS. The tips going back and forth, so Yeezy gang either or they're looks to be pretty happy with at least.
Use your tip this early though, right? You only get 3 per game,
yeah,
so I feel like you gotta be a bit more economical.
He's down 2, so this is, when are you gonna use it now? When maybe Yopaj makes a mistake? That's you got to think about these things as the game goes on. Both Storm and Void Spirit have very high outplay potential.
For sure. Top side, CTM is caught inside the cogs here, and it's actually 2 points of the... Oh, I think it ends up going down first, actually. Even more action towards the bot side. Top as well.
CTM, well, this is not a replication of game 1. Already Boom have been able to pick up 2 very early kills. We just saw the first blood from Play Hard, and then CTM, like you were saying, was able to battle it out in the cogs and instantly getting a pull off as well. It's only a 1 stack, or at least just a 1 camp here, I should say. So it's not going to deny the full creep wave, but at least helping out a little bit with the equilibrium at the moment. Meanwhile, Trezam is in trouble. Keeps a swash just in time to be able to dodge Play Hard's attempt.
I've seen a lot of good Banes in the Southeast Asian region recently, though. Like, I'd say Paulison and Rogi, they're probably like the 1 and 2 that I was seeing there. But, CTM, of course, he's very experienced. Might end up dropping down here, although he's got the stick charges. Might look to even turn this one around. Only 1 point in the brain sap, though. But yeah, there's definitely... Bane's one of those few supports that has a lot of outplay potential if you're really on point with a Nightmare.
Bottom lane, action will continue as FBZ. Checked a little bit with the blood right. Mid lane as well. Rose is going to pick up a big kill on Yopaj, but Trezam unfortunately chased down Chidori. I think they'll get the kill on top of the gyrocopter in top lane as well as CTM. They might lose power loss, but he's able to play with the attribute shift, and he's got some 1 charges as well. So they'll finally hit back from Dreammaker, at least in regards to the middle lane as Rose. That's a big solo kill. See, imagine if you had a tip. Now you've got to be cautious on if you use your last tip then.
It's not ideal for sure.
Chidori. It's going to fall down bot. Play hard. Get rid of the aggro. Nice. They will give him a salve as well. Trezam, got to be cautious. He's on top of a full creep wave. He'll think twice now.
Denied up a few of that mid wave into the tower there.
This dude's going crazy. He's actually rolling in with the low health that he's got. End up trading his life, but FBZ will instantly swing that one back.
So he's trying to get the turnaround potential in onto Yopaj, but goes in under the tower.
Rose?
What is
this dude's got some big cojones. He's not going to do it. Wait, he's not going to do it. Rose eats the remnant. Now with the tower damage and the silence. Again. Guys, you both used 2 tips.
What a waste.
Some stage you're going to have to pull 1 out when they keep making a play like that.
Radiant are scanning.
Not quite as slow.
It's early, right? Like, the overload... It's not going to be dealing too much damage underneath the tower. That extra 3 armor. We're even going to look to get a kill set up here onto Chidori on the bot side. Chain it together with the blood right. Yopaj just continuing to have a good time.
Rose.
All
Get
right,
an answer.
he'll take it.
So again, we're seeing a rush of the Orchid from the Storm Spirit as well. So it really seems to like this, just brown boots into the straight Orchid.
So just to show how aggressive they've been with this Storm Spirit and just trying to get kills, how often do you see both bounty runes still available in the Triangle camp when you've got a Storm Spirit in lane?
Even Void Spirit had both his bounty runes as well. So it's either team. Just putting a lot of emphasis.
Play hard, stole it away too.
He's gonna be in some trouble here as FBZ makes an early TP up top for the Bloodseeker and will just run himself down and feed over the kills. So that is a nice little influx of gold for FBZ. They're looking to try and dive CTM as well down to the bottom side, who got a little bit of effective health back and even just dodging out with a great use of the Night now. It's put Trezam in a compromised position. He'll just look for a TP once he can sidestep the roll.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And I feel like a lot of that, like, Rose still obviously has had a lot of farm come through into that mid lane. He's prioritizing protecting that bottom rune more. It's Sports top anyway, but he ended up losing more than half of a creep wave to the mid tower. It could have gone even better for him in the mid lane if that small camp to the left of it wasn't previously blocked up by CTM. That's what I was talking about at the very start of the game.
Oh, it's a great smoke. CTM.
Fiend's grip.
Yeah, they'll bring him down, and there's even no thought of a rotation. It's not the longest grip, and surprisingly, he's tank, but there has to be no chance he gets away. What? Now the rupture. That took them a long time. Hang on. They cancel Fiend's grip, or did they just not have the damage go through a 6-second stun?
Radiant's middle
Guess they didn't have the damage.
Maybe it was missile. I actually was not. Didn't even see if that was the cancel if he used it before he got the stun lock, but nonetheless a big kill, and was while he was looking to make a farming rotation all the way to the triangle, so just slowing down the gyro. Meanwhile, Palos has been untouched at the moment, top of the net worth here for the Morphling. And we'll see how he's able to keep up in the farm, because Gyrocopter has been heavily enabled with all the stacks.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
So is Yopaj though. He's looking to clean up this triple stack here. Obviously maxing out the Dissimulate, realizing that against a Storm Spirit, he's going to win the bully battle as much as possible. The fact that Rose dived underneath the tower and gave his life away was a big bonus for him. But with that Dissimulate, he's still keeping relatively level on the net worth front.
CTM. It's going to run into the Pangolier, who does only have CZY in the backline. Have the damage to go through the initial stun, so Trezam can reposition. Do you feel like either team has got better tower siege? Because at the moment we've seen really no aggression come out to take objectives 10 minutes in.
Bottom tower is under attack.
I mean, yeah, there isn't any tower siege, right? You think of these offlaners, by the way, Eurose making another attempt onto Yopaj, not going to get it. And of course, the rune is on the top side again, so Rose not getting the blessing from Gaben. But yeah, when you think about offlaners, you think about, you know, your Beastmasters, your Lycans. Hell, even the Mars is pretty capable of dishing out a lot of damage. But Batrider, not really. Bloodseeker, I mean, you can shove the lane out, but in terms of taking towers, not the strongest. There's another Fiend's grip being used here.
Well, Palos is going to be the one to find the kill. Trezam will attempt the TPA, but don't have a way to answer that. So yeah, again, unfortunately, it's not a game where we saw Nevermind perform like his game one Sand King. He's currently got 2 deaths, so will not be beyond godlike to start. But it's a bit of a farm fest at the moment. Is this favoring either? I say farm fest. I mean, Boom of 11 killers, but not really transitioning into anything. Either team are getting all the net worth they would like. So is either team happy with how this game is transpiring?
I mean, I feel like Dreammaker might be a little frustrated by the fact that they can't make an effective response to all of these ganks. Again, CZY going down. It's 11 minutes, and both him and Trezam don't have their ultimate. When you compare it to Play Hard and CTM, they're full, like, level or 2 ahead. I think that's the biggest concern for them. Rose, he's getting gone on mid, though.
That's a big kill to find. The Nightmare into the Bloodright again. We see this combination. It didn't really matter they weren't playing the lane. You still have great way to be able to set up for the silence, and Now they're going to look to continue on in the mid. Play hard. Magnetize freshly picked up, but he's stuck inside the cogs, and Chidori is just raining down hellfire from afar. Yopaj going to look to get involved here, but he's still going to be cautious on how long he sticks around, because Trajam as well will block off the high ground. It's a great use of the Rolling Thunder. Still even clips on the back line, and now they've got the homing missile to set up for the lasso drag back, because Chidori will secure the kill, and they'll make it 4.
And you just see how immediately different that fight is as soon as they've got the ultimates. You know, when Clockwork TP'd in, he didn't have the hook shot, but for whatever reason, Boom just walked in next to him. So he was able to get the cogs and get the easy cleanup. I'm a little surprised that they made such a rookie error like that, because they had the full reins of that team fight, but you know, just with 2 people able to get a bunch of damage layered in onto them with the call down, meant that they were able to get a few kills, and well, now you've got that hook shot. And it also leveled up the Rolling Thunder, enabling the 2 kills to follow up after that.
Structures are fortified.
It looks like Boom still feel confident to be able to take the objective mid. Those ultimates used previously on Dreammaker. We're going to look to wrap all the way around to see if they can catch out anyone on the outskirts. So a second tower now finally claimed for the side of Boom, giving them a little bit further real estate to be able to work with.
Dire's structures are fortified.
And we've got Boots of Travel now as well on Nevermind, so he's going to be looking to roam around the map, continue to farm, push out waves. Just to be a little bit careful about getting rolled in onto. He'll be fine though.
Bottom lane though, they found the Morphling. Rose, I believe that was the Orchid reveal, and then Trezam could follow up, so that's a big kill on Palos, who that's also his first death of the game as well.
He was having a very nice time farming up, but yeah, Rose is doing everything that he could possibly need to assist his team. Hitting up onto the level 12 as well, really increasing the kill threat that he's got early on into this game against the likes of a Morphling. 3 stat items, he's really only gone into the agility side of things right now. If he's not able to hit anything, then Rose, I think that's the main target that he's going to look to go for time after time.
No, it's a poor life for the Pangoliers sometimes. You win some, you lose some. He was trying to snipe Yopaj's courier, which would have been the Yule Scepter completed. And now Yopaj has got an Arcane Rune actually in the arsenal, so they have a smoke. They even want to go. Yeah, they do. All right, your CTM actually instantly looking to set them up with a smoke. They don't clip FBZ, and they're actually going to scan instant.
That out as well. I don't know how they saw that, but the pings were like literally instant as soon as it was popped. So, well, Rose, he kind of has something in mind considering the ward that he's got up in the area, but has to be a little bit careful here.
Rose, get out. Oh, that's not a long TP. He didn't have any mana. Poor Rose was gone for a solo kill, but kill Palos there is not going to be the easiest task at all. And another smoke, this time it was underneath the Radiant Observer, but no pings came out, so maybe they weren't paying attention, as looking like Boomer looking to not relieve any of the pressure they have on the game. Yopaj with that Arcane. He's got 4 mana still to play with, and also 2 ultimate charges. They're looking to try and hunt down Chidori.
And this is going to be a pretty easy pick off once they catch him. Scepter into the setup. Not a lot of stats right now. He should still die. Not even able to get off the call down.
CZY as well, down to the southern side. Just on the outskirts, Bane was able to stop any retreat, so FBZ will secure a double kill. This is going to give him enough gold as well to complete the Atos.
Even able to just restack up the sentry ward there, take away some of the farm. This is support gaming these days, and was it CTM that we were talking about before that is an absolute emote spammer? Because he is just hurling those cheese around as much as possible on that Bane.
Yeah, we saw it last time he was playing the Bane. It was, yeah, it was filthy. He just relentless with how he uses them.
Any particular cheese that you're a fan of?
I mean, if we're going crazy, then well, not even crazy. I love blue cheese. Blue cheese is really where it's at. That's seems like a
eat it by the handful, or is it like on crackers and stuff?
Oh, on crackers. You buy the handfuls. That's okay. That's a bit weird. Although, like,
it's a bit degen.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, I am a cheese connoisseur. I want to say cheese connoisseur because I don't know if I'd say that. I do love me some cheese though. I rock with that. Are you a fan of cheese? Anything you look out for?
Of course. I mean, there were literally times where I would get the string cheese from the supermarket, and if I was looking for it sounds so stupid. I was like 12 at the time. I would put it in the microwave on a plate so it melts into a blob, and then just eat the blob of cheese.
That definitely sounds like something a 12-year-old would do. I don't know. You still sure you're not doing it this age?
I'm not. It's too expensive to buy that kind of cheese these days. Although on my pasta, I just take massive handfuls.
Yeah, no, the pasta I let go. That's where the cheese goes crazy. Or the homemade pizza as well. You really can't go wrong. Just get your double lather on the cheese.
I did do this one thing where...
Oh, well, Rosé's not doing a good thing at all. It was trying to cut the wave, but instantly answer from Yopaj. We were speaking about how the mid lane is not the greatest for the Void Spirit, but as the game goes on, you've got a incredible way to just lock in the storm, and it's really coming into fruition.
At least pre-BKB, right? Like, if you have that available, then you're always going to be able to get off after the Mule Step to the BKB, which is great. But it's going to be quite a while until Storm Spirit's able to pick that one up. I was actually wondering how long we could ramble on a zero topic before there was a kill. But it looks like we got a bit more time. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, when I was doing my like no carb diet.
Yeah.
Never mind, another kill.
Keto, no carb? Is keto different?
Yeah, no, it was keto.
Yeah.
I love my chicken parmigiana, right?
Ooh.
But
Wait,
you can't
Parma
have
or
that
Parmy?
with the Parma.
Yeah, okay,
With the breading, right? You can't have it because it's breading, right? It's bread. So I would instead use cheese, grated cheese, to bread my Parma.
Okay.
And man, that was good.
Okay. Did it take longer?
No, pretty standard.
That sounds rocking. Hang on. All right.
It was. I also cooked up some bacon in my the marinara sauce that I put on the top of it. It's very nice.
Dude, we foodie stream over here. We're gonna make everyone hungry. We really stomach.
Probably should eat dinner as well. It's nearly 9 o'clock here.
Yeah. We and maybe with the longer break we got coming up shortly. See, I mean, don't you just love cold meals after a cast?
Love it.
Seems like
You kind of have to.
Yeah, seems like the life. But
Rosé, he's continuing to try and set up for these solo kills, but look at where Playhard's positioning himself. You know, he's come up against Rosé a fair few times in his pubs, and he's clearly studied the way that he plays, so he's going to end up running into it. The Atos not catching him out. He's going to have to continue running here. Full zip away, and yeah, eventually gets it off.
Now top, CTM. They have the lane ward, so they'll find CZY. Cog's actually just going to give them a bit of an opportunity with pushing back Yopaj. And alright, so what next food are we going to speak about here?
Dire's middle tower
Have I talked to you about my fruit tier list?
I know you're a huge fan of tier list. I don't know if... I think we may have. Let's do a quick recap. What's the S tier?
Well, I just want to know what's on the bottom. I want to know what's on the bottom tier of your fruit tier list.
Well, I don't really like kiwi.
Wrong.
Okay, well, dope. Dial.
They're gonna run into Trezam soon.
5. Trezam's in a nice spot. He needs to stun up the Bane of Wall. That's it. Okay. Can they have a Roche lineup? I mean, you've got Morbid Master, Morphling with the help of someone can probably tank through it. I don't have any minus.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Let's see how many times it takes Playhard to roll up onto this hill. All right, 3 times eventually gets it, even though there was Yopach's courier in the area.
Nah, the courier it's too easy. You got to do it the hard way. Gonna make
We were talking to Bob the other day, and we was like, "What heroes do you want to play?" He's like, "I want to play Lycan mid. I want to play Beastmaster mid. All these really unorthodox ones. Dawnbreaker was too easy for him."
He thought Dawnbreaker was for noobs. They just double smoked on Radiant. I'm almost certain they just double smoked because Chidori wasn't in it. So they've got to get something out of it, and CTM is not worthwhile at all. Maybe if they can also add FBZ to the tally. He simultaneously jumped onto the back line, and they should be able to bring him down as Chidori will find a double. Yopaj still sticking nearby. The items freshly completed. Even Palos looking to rejoin the fray. Trying to play around with the Gyrocopter replicate. Rose gotta be cautious right now. Only about half mana to play with, so they'll just sacrifice CZY. But the Earth Spirit just brought back. He's gonna kick Nevermind into a peculiar position. They've compromised the Batrider. Yours will give him some space just out of range as well. Trezam doesn't get the Rolling Thunder off fast enough. And is that enough space actually for Nevermind? It looks like it. No, it's not. Play hard. Actually cancels the TP on the outskirts. So still a pretty costly fight for Boom as they buyback on both supports.
Heavy buyback investment coming out here, but with the... Oh, are they getting another kill? No. They're looking to just play around this Roche pit. That's the key thing for mine, and couldn't look to take it. You know, the dieback on the Pangolier, that's the key teamfight initiator for them, although CZY, as soon as he respawns, I wonder if he's going to fire a rocket into the pit. Yes, he will. Palace, he's not sitting super low, as Morphlings are like to do.
It must have been the silence from Play Hard AoE in that previous team fight, because now, in fact, Yopaj has got the Aghanims completed, so it's going to get even more difficult for Dreammaker, and not solely because of that, but also now with the Roshan advantage. They found Chidori in the middle lane. It's got some protection to CZY. They're going to kick him away from any extra reinforcements to the eastern side of the map, and Chidori's in trouble. He doesn't have the BKB. Rosé's trying to clean up, but the damage just from the Storm Spirit's not enough to get much of a revenge. I mean, he'll find the Earth Spirit, but not worthwhile.
And that was the second use of the Resonant Pulse by Yopaj as well. Still, again, I don't like this build coming out from Rosé. You know, you're up against a silence coming through from the Earth Spirit. You've got the silences, of course, now on the Void Spirit, plus the Yule Scepter build up, and he still isn't anywhere near the BKB. He hasn't even switched up his quickfire yet.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
It's time for Boom to start doing some work on the high ground. Skadi freshly completed for Palos. The Glyph look to reset, so Boom looking to further grow their lead here, and with the Aegis, they should be able to claim all the outer objectives.
How many times do you see a Storm Spirit build Boots of Travel?
I think
that's the other question.
Did it a couple times when we saw against Yangon. I believe he likes...
I mean, you might like it, but I feel like you need to be playing with your Clockwork and Batrider a whole lot more if you're going to opt to go down that sort of path.
Yeah.
It's like, what's it useful for in the middle of a team fight, you know? You're silenced, it doesn't give you stats, it doesn't let you right-click inside of a cogs or anything like that, you know? I feel like it needs to be very pick-off-centric, and you know, he's got individual pickoffs himself, but I feel like you need to be playing around with the rest of your team a whole lot more.
Yeah, 100%. If you're going for this build, you need kind of the pickoffs. Maybe that +1. The issue is Boom have very good catch, though. So playing across the map, they can be not only catch, but I should say mobility. They can get across with ease with the Void, the Earth Spirit. So it's not going to be easy for Dreammaker to split up Boom, especially not now with the Aegis. They'll look to 5-man to take further objectives.
Chidori, though, he's finished up his Accept, like we said before. He's actually, I think he ended up building the Dragonlance up.
Oh, we found him!
Yeah. Oh.
The daytime just cut through the trees. Poor old Rosé. He's just gonna have to stand his ground and really hope he can just survive and waste as much time as possible, but had to be cut down with Palos showing up.
Alright, so Chidori, he's got his BKB, he's got his Aghanim Scepter, he's built back into the Dragonlance now. I want to see him get into some kind of lifesteal because they don't have any kind of... Yeah, Spirit Vessel isn't complete yet. You've just got the Urn on Play Hard. Totally cool with it. You want to make sure that you can layer that in onto the heroes just for that little bit of extra bonus damage. But yeah, until that's up and available, I feel like you've got to try and exploit the fact that you can have this passive lifesteal. Yep, even just going into the Morbid Mask before the full Satanic. Man, he's still opting to go full, like, Bloodstone on this Storm Spirit. You need a BKB, my friend.
They're going to need a defense as well. Chidori smoked up the lethal charge with CZY, dropping the core down as well. It's a decent amount of damage to try and clean off the Bloodseeker, but the only issue is that the side of Boone have instantly been able to answer up on the backline as Chidori forced to pop the BKB. He's still not able to bring down the first life of Powerloss. He's just standing his ground with the attribute shift. Rose back alive, so finally they'll clean him off, but it's going to cost them the Gyrocopter as they've just wasted the full BKB charge. As Boom, they can look to reset off the back of a triple kill from Yopaj. They really want to end up backing away. I feel they can double back here and go back in.
I mean, the C way is to go for the fake back constantly. But nope, they're just going to cut their losses. Losing the Aegis was a really nice nightmare again coming through there from CTM to make sure that Rose wasn't any part of that retreat at all. Continue to push up to the top side. Has to be careful. Yopaj is in the area.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Feels like now this carry-to-carry matchup is too difficult for Chidori. Like, he's got Sanjin Yacha, Skadi, Satanic. It's going to be so difficult to burst Palos, and you've even got CTM that can play behind him with just a nightmare trick to go through one of the instant stuns, and Palos then should always be able to get at least an attribute shift off or Satanic.
CTM, he's been making a ton of plays, and, well, see you later, Storm Spirit.
Good old Yopaj show. I mean, we were saying if there's no chance he's going to have a performance, the replication of game one, and now with Rose down, I mean, he can always buy back and rejoin the team, but the Lotus or Blasto, they're still doing a lot of damage inside the cogs. Now they've got the initial stun as well on top of the Morphling, but Palos, S and Y, so much damage resistance. He can turn, get the Satanic off. He's going to look to stand his ground in Manfight. Now with the BKB expiring from Chidori, they don't even need it. The outskirts Fiend Script will cop him in place, a dieback for your Storm, and it's all Boom.
That psychic headband just giving him the little bit extra. You know, he pushed away the enemy team when they're trying to go on to him, so now even the cogs isn't going to be a good way to be able to burst him down. And yeah, I'd be calling it as well. It feels like, exactly as you said, the Morphling Gyro matchup is already pretty good, and he was 6,000 net worth ahead. So nice dominant victory coming out from Boom. Really perhaps shocked their senses with the game number one, with how much of a convincing victory it was for Dreammaker, but this is a convincing fashion to be able to come back into it.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, the start of the series, the odds 8-1, Dreammaker had an incredible game one performance, but it felt like maybe. Do you feel like they out of their comfort? Like, are they playing too much around the clinks, or was that not too much of a factor here?
I mean, it's a little bit of a factor. You don't want to be one note ever, but I didn't like the way that they played around each other, most importantly, right? Like, you've got this Bat Rider, but it felt like they went for very few pickoffs with the use of the lasso. You've got this Pango that, again, was picked before the Bloodseeker, so it was just immediately countered. It didn't have any impact in these team fights. CTM played an amazing game. Yopaj, great game. There were a lot of factors, but certainly things that are quite easily fixable in my eyes.
Yeah, without a doubt. It's still impressive for Dreammaker to be able to at least take one game off Boom, who are looking incredibly dominant. I mean, I'm trying to remember their previous loss. Who'd they tie? They tied versus Neon, which was on day 3 of the group. So Boom currently had only lost one map and won 7. They're now going to jump up to 8-2. So still increasing their position at around the top of the table. SMG still holding that firm place at the moment, but nonetheless still as an open qualifier team to be able to gain some momentum and look on forward. Now, I guess, what do we feel like some of the biggest issues were for Dreammaker? Is it just maybe like a draft issue? Was how Boom were able to cut out the map early with some of the rotations from Yopaj and Play Hard, giving them too much of an early advantage?
I mean, there are a bunch of things, right? Like, I don't even necessarily think it was anything that Boom did. They just played solid Dota, but Dreammaker made a few mistakes, right? Like, you just think back to Rose diving underneath the tower with less health and mana than a Void Spirit, with the tower hitting you constantly, giving away a lot of the early momentum. No one de-watered the small camp. again, picking the Pango before a Bloodseeker and not going for those early pickoffs. So lots of stuff that they could look to fix. But unfortunately, they lose the game. Fortunately, they still go 1-1 with one of the best teams as an open qualifier team. And speaking of open qualifier teams, we've got another one coming up. Yangon Galacticos going up against Polaris in the third series of the day. For those not familiar with Polaris, that is the team that, I mean, do you want to call them like the...
XR
They're not the
droid.
rejects. I think that's
harsh. That's
it is
harsh.
being a bit harsh on them. I mean, you know, Natsumi was on a different team, Mac was on a different team, Nico was on a different team, Boomy was on a different team. Like, let's be real, those are 4 people that were on different teams as of like a month ago.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to label it like that, poor old XR droid, I'm a stick with you. You hate to see it for those boys. Danog is a meeting old poo, but yeah, we're gonna have another open qualified team taking on the bottom team at the moment, Polaris. They need to pick up some wins fast, considering how well all of these other teams are looking. So we're halfway done now through our night. Still got 2 more series left, and our third one, like we we're saying, Yangon Galacticos taking on Polaris, will be up shortly after a break.